Human Aleph and Simon base. Human Aleph we did. We finished it. Yeah. And Simon Aleph, Cotton Aleph, he said, there's a problem. Why don't we give the Sharia the power of Komokim Shivot of Yerushalayim? Even by Chazal, even by Koyach of Chazal, by Yedech Mises Nachon Asachon. Kotel Maskono, they died as a power of two. So also the happening of the husband we believe, the power we believe. Elamai, again, Kotel Maskono, the husband I believe, because we give the one witness the power of two. Because he has made that done. So why could the Havamid we didn't give the Shliach the power of two? The answer is the Havamid never need angels. I didn't create Chazak Yisrael. Once I do a kosher, the Baal does a kosher for the first A, which not really A, so it became like two, although he has Chazakah, and when you make it, the Chazakah falls off. But what we did, this is the Kashmur, Stephen Alex and Conrad did last week. Again, the Havamina of the Gemara, that the Shliach is believed to say is not believed in Torah's Eidos. Therefore, he's not like two. I didn't create a Chazak Chazak. The answer is, since he's not an A, and the Baal is believed against the Ruach Kosher, believe not just the Ruach Kosher, to be him, the lay in the Baal, Tobo, Baal Shtar. Therefore, he doesn't like Kosher. Once he doesn't like Kosher, the Heter, the Tzaddik that came from the Shliach, although we made it. Like nothing happened, or things would be suffix, the Heter is turned to a suffix.
But everything one is like two in that indicates.
No, if the one is like two,
at least in order not to be able to.
If the one is like two, it's
in order not to be like Hashem.
Again, yes.
At least in order not to be Hashem, to be protested against.
Yes.
At least he one is like two. At least. That he can't be knocked out.
We don't say that. That was the question.
Yeah. That
was again. It's a slow because I haven't really was, but I haven't was and then it's That's the answer. Since it's not a Eidos, I made this Chazak. Since the Baal is believed to fight the Shneir, because the Shneir is not A, the turns to two. He was an A, who turned to two. He's not an A, he's not turning to two. He's an A, and then the Monos, not Eidos. So then the Baal is believed to fight it to make out a caution. The Baal, the head falls off. They gave answer sent Kashmir by the Sugia. Now we're going to Simon Alex and Cotton base. If they gave answer sent Kashmir by Yisui. Why by Yisui? We don't say, although by Yisui, the first A and the second A, I believe equally. But the first A we created Chazakah, and then the second A, now we believe the fight against its Chazak, Rabbi Yoda. And then Chaim Alevi explained the Kashmir of Givega, that it follows only the opinion, doesn't follow the opinion of the Ritva, follows the second opinion, which means the Ritva holds. By the way, you see, if Chaim Alevi learned in the Ritva, not like the Moshe Zeli. Here, he means Omar Limoy Rabbi. So, not only the time, the Shach brought two opinions like this. You have the Shach, and the Chaim Alevi, and Moshe Zeli, another opinion. That's definitely the possible. Again, so we have two opinions. One opinion is that by Isui are not similar to Shliach, not similar to three things. Egla Ufro, Eid Misa, and Eid Soiku. Those three things, the Torah requires two. And the Torah requires two. And the Torah believes one. Must be one is like two. And then he says in parentheses, Egla Ufro, the Dabal doesn't fit. Egla Ufro is the Kohen Korban, is Isum. He has to redefine and equal because of that. Brings to the main Zeli, Basha's Simcha Zeli, what was his name? Simcha Zeli, and redefines the equal, but the biggest one doesn't like his answer. But he doesn't give an answer why Glamov is part of that group. And we don't know yet. Let's go back here. So they learned the Vitra as follows. Now, and those three things, A Nisan, A Tumor, and Egla Mufo, those three things, the Torah needs two, and the Torah believes one. Means one is like two. Then when the second one comes to fight, he's fighting two. So on the matter itself is not believed because it's something needs two, it's only one. And to create a Koshi can, because the first one is like two. This is, I believe in this book, or when he brings here. He said the kasha of the time of the Kibbe was not a Kontanat opinion. Why? Because a Kontanat opinion, only by those three things, one is like two. But by Isuri, one is only one. Then it becomes like two. So in many ways, you can't ask that the first aid creates Chazokah. And he made the second should not believe. Because since the first and the second equally believe in the subject matter to contradict each other on the matter itself, the Mele is also equal to contradict the first one, because they're not really two. When we say one is like two, and those three in the group of the three, and we say Tzoito and the Glauba, then one is like two. And the second one is not believed in the matter because it's not two. And I might let it be one. One cannot fight the two, and now we cannot fight the two. The one became two nullifies. He nullifies it, but that's not. This is according to the Vitra, the way the Shah, the way the Chaim Levi understood. And the other opinion holds. So wait a second. So according to this opinion, the Kibbutz didn't answer this question by assuming, but by assuming you don't have the power of two to nullify. So each one are equal. So we may let, although the first one maybe create a chazot from, it's not two. So I'm one, and he's one, and I fight, I do a kosher on the end of this chazak chazot. By keeping, we won. By keeping, but the first stage, the Shliach was made by God. It is true. The Baal is not Nemo because it's an Eidechot, and it's Elva. There's not believed, so there's only one, and he cannot find the Shliach, which is like two. And the Shliach modifies it. But I have was that the Shliach got in a name. Life, according to the Hebrew, I only saw it. Even if that became something, but the second one can come find it and remember about the something. The same idea that according to the Hebrew, by Yisuri. By those three things, the first one comes like two, and the second one is ever, it cannot be believed. Elamite to be one to create unconscious, be notified by the first. But by Yisuri, there's one against one, and they equal never. Elamite, the first one get a chazot, create a chazot, there's no meaning because I'm not shooting made of my prayer, the chazot is nullified, there's no meaning. But that's why we know the cancer called looking on these chazak too, even by Yisur. So when the kiveg is that a decho by Yisur will create a chazot, not according to that shita of the Rit. He's only asking to the shita of the Rambam and the other sheet section of the Shah brings out that not only by Erva, not only is all the same. Not only those three things they was like two. Anywhere when they believe they was like Shnai. And Lahufa, Isuri, Erva, all things when the Torah believe was like two. And if not like that, there's no minor and Erva more than Isuri. To make one like two. So why the second one is believed? Because to testify in an error, there's a difference between error and Isuri. By error, cannot testify in that. So then you only say one. You're not believing in that error, you only one. The one that contradicts the first one is like two, not to be contradicted. Not to glorify it, but not to be contradicted. By Isuri, when the first one is like two, that can be contradicted, but since the second one is believed on an error, so now say you have two people making commands, and then you have a second. So the Ischazik has no meaning, and the first one is two, not to be contradicted, has no meaning, because the mice on the text itself, he's believed like two, because the first one is kind of so, and the Chaticha itself, the state of not Chaylev, they're both equal there, but like two. So there's no meaning that push the first one two. Let it be two, and you made it a chazok. Let it be another. But the second one is two, is also two, is also two. And you make two fighting two. The chazok has no meaning.
That's when they both came at the same time.
Even one after the other.
What happened? Not like days, like.
Yes. Yes.
So he says Chaylev, but this is Shuma.
One second.
He says Chaylev, this is Shuma.
Yes.
But basically, they're not really.
Just finding out the object itself.
They're not. Anyone says.
Ain't said it on it itself. You don't need to compare. It doesn't mean anything that is like two. The person like two create a chazorah. Chazorah that he had becomes a socket because on the matter itself you have a son. No meaning. No mind anymore. Good. The nafkamina is if he only does as long. 1 second. The nafkamina will be when he does only as long. Again, the whole piece of the Big Hashmon Simon Aleph is to explain the difference between the Hadamina of the Gemara that by Giti, the Shliach is non-Eidos, and the Maskara, the Shliach is an Eidos when he turns to two. And it's Erva. It's Eidos and Erva, and he turns to two, and the virus and them is in Erva, so he's notified or not believed, according to child. That's a maskoma. But Adamina, we don't have all this story because Adam's only been angels. So what he did is, the beauty of the piece and Simon Aleph, he did the Adamina as minus. Not even angels. The whole one that we have Hitma and the second Shita and those three things that he's suing, all that numbers, they don't need angels. So you jack it up. Only by every jacket the two, but by so now, only by soon the jacket two of all of Canada. But the having the moment by Shia again is needles, not even angles, and out of the powder, so angles and their modes. So you know that couldn't no sheeta, you can jacket the two, they couldn't no sheeta, then they scarce it has no meaning. This is the beauty. This is the whole piece here. This is the whole point of the piece. So now let's go over what the killing the Sasha was. You know, the Sasha was by assuming when the Eidah is an A, and so and the second aid is an A, but the first aid created Hazok became Bazar Hazir. So there the primarily explained that the class of Kidei does not exist according to the Ritva. According to the Ritva, those three things, which is Eid Yisa, Egla Rufa, and Tuma and Soito, those three things, Eid Echad is you need to, and you believe whatever like two. But then the second aid cannot be believed because it's error. So he's only one, but he gets modified by the first one, became like two. But by Isuri, the first one is one, can even create this chazak. There's no meaning. And the second one is also wrong. And once a one fights the one, we know it's not to be chazak. This is according to who? According to the primary, according to the ritual. That's the way the primary learns the ritual, the shot. And then primary learns in such a way because the Simcha Zelig didn't know like this in the ritual. He basically makes a one sheet and turns the ritual to the shot of the second shot of the Rambam. Now we have the second shot, which is the Rambam sheet of the second shot of the shot breaks down. And the Rebbe Chaim Eliezer said in the council of Kiva is called the second shot. What is the second shot? The second shot is that really not Erva and not Egla Rupa, not special. Anywhere we can't believe what A is like two. Even by Sugia. So by Erva, Egla Rupa, those three things, Egla is like two, but they believe it is like two. So now, but it's not two to nullify the other one, it's two not to be removed. And since the second name is not believing in the matter, because it's Erva is not believing in the matter. So since they therefore not believing in the matter, so it's only one. It's not two, because it's not two, it's two, it's only one. Otherwise, if you want to think it's contradict the first one. The first one says, I'm like two, you cannot remove me. And I compromise the guy who's not like two. It doesn't notify they never. But the man said they never not believe because he came second. And he's not believing in that, of course, it's every need to. He's not believing in ice, he need to not one. Everyone will be one at least to fight to block course on the first one, the person became there too. The people did cannot be removed. In many ways, not believing. But by Sugi, we was the same thing. The first one that came became two. But the second one was also two. Because they believed on the group of hits of the Chatik of Boston, the equal belief says Shumano is kosher, not kosher, Shumano they believe equally. So you know how the first one became like two, but also the second one is two. So you have two against two, and the Chazak has no meaning. Maybe this is not true. Maybe Chazak has meaning one. So although the second one is like two, and the first one is like two, but there's two eights here. When the second eight says Anachatika, you said it's Caleb, says Shmuel, you said it was in Caleb. You say two things, say Caleb, and it would also contradict the first one. Since these chazak on the first one, like you, this is chazak. Megan says, then they have a problem. How can the second eight come? And maybe and a record is not never be sued. Even though never make two. When we have a rule, a record never be sued when you have his sense, but I'll be able. The first opinion, finally understood we don't attack. Why? Because if the first eight is one, if it's not anything, it's only one, although the two not to be contradicted, but and therefore let it create a circle. Say no. The fact needs to fight me. That is clear the one because the second eight says you made that up and I made that up. Not so. I'm explaining finally. The finally said that the key of the discussion, that by assuming let the first eight create as well. And the second eight is not able to discuss it, but we all know that the discussion. Finally, he said this discussion doesn't exist only according to the opinion of the Rambam or the second opinion of the Shah, but according to the first opinion. Now what? That only in three things you need two words like two. And then for the second one is not believing. For step two, and I want to be one to be a kosher, he cannot do a kosher because the first one is two and it nullifies. Because I need two is like two and it nullifies. But according to the Rambam or the sheet, for the Shah brings down, there really there's no mind of those three things in this room, it's all the same. To buy those three things, the first one becomes like two, and that means not to be contradicted. And the second one is to and the subject matter is not belief. The only thing that's left with one is to contradict. You cannot contradict because the first one is like two. But by Isurim, the second one is believing correct the first one. So since we believe in the matter, so even though the first one created even though the first one is believed like two, still, the second one is also believed like two on the matter itself. And that, let the first one create a chazaka, and then the second one, which is like two on the matter, but in reference to contradictory, that is that, the first one is like two. The first one created a chazaka, so later the second one will be a dekod, which is like two, and the matter is not never against his concept of the which means in concept, the Chaim understood that if the first one is only two and he created his chazak, is equal to the score that we said by Shliach. Same way by Shliach, who's not even an A, even when he created chazaka, the Baal can destroy the Shliach, he made as no chazaka. Also, put to the Baal, when I don't have the score, they get the Shliach only by the Lord. Then they can notify you number one. But by Sugia, they difference you said because I only two is only one. And the second one is also one against one. Although they didn't vote, which is only one created Chazaka, but the second aid, which is also one, can find the Chazaka because they equal, he's one, What do you mean? But he's one, but the first one created Chazaka. Family understood, according to that sheet, we use the same logic that we explained by Shliach. Why? Because I don't need Aegis. Since by Sugia there's enough one, and he's only one, which means doesn't have to be of Aegis. Because if it's almost like Shliach, it's minus. The anyway, the Baal can find the Shliach and Havamina. Also, according to the Ritbo, the Baal can find
In the Havamina.
yes,
Yeah.
then Havamina. You want to adapt the same concept according to the Rambam by Sugia, that the first one is only one, because I don't need two that is and one is like two. I need one, there's only one. He said I don't need Eidos in Kabbalah Eidos and things, I don't need Eidos. So by Sugia is only one. Why by Sugia is only one? Because I don't need two. Because it's not Eidos. It's not Eidos. So they're almost kind of. I told me there wasn't only Eidos. So the second Eid create a solver. The first say create a consultant. No. He contradicts the Rambam. The same logic. What the Bikashmul did, he took the logic of his Rabbi and he applied the algorithm. He did. He took the logic of his Rabbi on the Pidei, and he applied it to the Hamid. That's what he did, right? And his Rabbi said, according to the Rambam, by Sugia, if keeping a thought, Kasher that he created us off. According to the Rambam, Sugia only one. So I don't need to do. And there's one, he said, it's not Eidos. He says it clearly. It's not Eidos. I'm not going to assume for the question of Eidos, that's your time. It's not Eidos. It's like Shliach in Arabia. Not like the Maskon of Shliach by getting I need to, because it's ever, and because made that guy, he is to. You don't say that. That's the Maskon. The Arabia the Shliach is one. Not Eidos. Saying in English, according to the Rambam, by Yisur, it's not Eidos. It's only one. It's only one. So even the concept he created is no meaning because he's one. And he said what the concept he made is no meaning. I believe right, you equal to other matter. So it's not something. Concept has no meaning, it's something. But according to the second chapter of the chapter, we can call it the Rambam, he brings in the same that really there's no matter in those three things. It's not because I need to, so when they tell you believe one is like two. Even by Yisur is two. Because once I testify, so I believe, once I believe, the third may mean I do, doesn't matter those three things. Or even assume the third believe, just with the different things, and those three things, which is not like two, the second one has no power anymore. Because it's animal. Anyway, you don't even want to create a great contradictory, you can't, because the person became like two. And you on the matter not believe, because when you was animal. You know, the only one I want to contradict the one that became like two. You can't. You're supposed to get a race, but you cannot create it. You cannot create it a question. And assuming the first thing is like two, because I need to make so many two. Return believe me, Why the prayer? It's not because he's looking at their months, about 80s. He's looking at also 80s. So the prayer says, "Learn like food," and it can fulfill the requirement of 80s by the law. And the second one can also fulfill the requirement of 2 by Yisrael, because they need 80s. And the second is also 80s on the matter, because the prayer will give you belief to say it's kosher, not kosher, it's human, it's all equal. So Stephen is only called the first one created. If it's animals, they're not people as a kasha. Although he fights the marrow, they can equal fight the marrow, but since he came later, and the angels made his husband, so then they therefore, which is angels, against his cousin, he cannot fight as a person gave it as his cousin. Then when finals I agree that the kasha can make it. But in more than he said, if they therefore is not coming to do contradictory, he's got to do just do a summer.
You're talking about Kim? Two income.
Saying about a piece of meat with kosher. So now,
I first I said it's kosher, it's finished. Because he ate it. Well, I catch you. What about this? That guy got his daughter already. No? So, no, it's theory, the next guy doesn't have a check. What's it? You know?
the first day comes, and he says it's kosher, it's a shuma, it's not okay.
Right.
Somebody came and ate it, or made a psaka basil. So there will be a difference, one second, there will be a difference. And the law is the same, the law is that the first one created chazaka, and the second is not believed. Kivay is, and this Kivay has a cash. By the Sugia, which they therefore comes and he fights it, he's believing, says, why? I love his belief. Says, why the first one created chazaka. The Chaim lady says that aloha, that question of the Kivay doesn't fit if the Eidechor is only one by Yisrael. But if that's true, one and one, the chazaka has no meaning. But the Eidechor is angels and one is enough because I need angels and one is enough to create angels. And the second one is also angels, but once the first angels was there one, he created chazaka, which was when I ate it, I had a complete 100% what to rely on. I had angels. So then he said the chazaka has meaning. So when the second one, so the case chazaka, it's hard like the other, should be there. But if the second aid was not think that you're a kosher, only as Rama, I'm kosher the matter. Then, even according to the Rambam's opinion, the second aid is not being believed. Why? Because when I'm fighting the matter, some equal power, you can say it's Taylor, it's a Shuman, it's a Shuman, it's a Gala, equal power. Once I believe equal against them, maybe this has a meaning. Sorry, maybe this has a meaning, giving us confidence, has a meaning. But when the second aid is not fighting the matter itself, it's only fighting that wasn't true. You didn't see it, the peace was with me, you weren't see it, you weren't there, a zone at a kosher. In those cases, the zone at a kosher. So then I'm no superior power against the first one. And the first one became like two somehow from down. And the kid and he extends it to Shmuel. Same thing is by Shmuel, Adam Messiah. A that supports if I'm high Shmuel, because I look what obligates with Shmuel, or Moider Niktas, and you have an A that supports me to say that I'm part of Shmuel. Adam Messiah part of Shmuel. And then the kid in Kasha was, there's no kind of favor for this. Because by a boss stating, he said by a boss stating, you can have a son. But by Adam Messiah, which is only a Debor, for Shmuel, I know it doesn't work if they fight about the matter. It's good, but Adam Messiah, what is he saying? He's not fighting about the matter. He's just saying, you said that 50 I owe, and 50 I don't owe. Right? So what Adam Messiah says, he doesn't know the thing. He doesn't mean he's not fighting about the matter. It just testifying negative. So when he's believing when he's saying about the matter, when he does not kosher, does not have no power.
Why is that the matter?
What?
That is the matter. Does he owe the money or he doesn't owe the money? Somebody says you borrowed 8 says you borrowed money, and another 8 says he didn't borrow money. He says he borrowed money on such a day. He says he didn't borrow money on that day.
He said, if they ever say I was saying that he didn't borrow the money, that's how go the 50s, they're gonna hit. But he's made that he didn't see the loan, and he doesn't know the tush, where he's not trying like two. So he made the buy he was always doesn't matter if he made out of hit some, he buy a zomo. So no cover payment. You will learn more than mixes and 80 from what is ago. We learn the Rosh words. The Rosh learns from he learns from where to come up with the Rosh. How the Gemara learns about saving from what the mitzvahs and 80 there is a Hebrew. They came from a kincho and that's a kincho. So he says he has a pinko because by 80 you can have a kosher and a zomo, and by 80 Messiah you can only have a kosher and a zomo. Why? Because my whole power is to do a kosher and a marriage. But my zomo, by excluding there's no zomo. That's the whole point. See, the document of what said that by 80 can be soil, you can only be never when you made an object on itself. But when you do just a zomo, you have the power, and the person became like two. So it's what I didn't say. Yeah, there's a big book.
Are we in the rest now or in the
Kibedi? So we both have two with Kibedi. I'm just saying what the first piece did. What the first piece did, he did a tremendous job. He copied the logic of his Rebbe house. He said, my Rebbe said the Catholic Kibedi and his Ishaza can only fit the I'm not the Gitmo. Right? She said that's not even a scholar. The other was Sugia is out of Eagles. Just like Manos. So he made it, he cannot jack him up the two. So the dog cannot come out. And these Chazak has no meaning. It's Chazak got the come, there's no Chazak. Not like the Greens, the son, that says Chazak got the because he's the Baal Star and he's making on the star. That's the Greens, that's the son. That's the son of the Panamanian. He's not saying that. He's saying that since the other was in the Shliach, so not the Mahar, you have the Greeks. But Lishmo is not testifying about it's not about the Barashtan, it's only an A. That was the Greek. And by stories, which he is testifying about the star itself, so the problem is that let him back on the star. The Greeks only explain Rashi in the Sugia that is Shach Be'etzem and is Lishmo, Emmanuel is one against one. And Rashi only said it by Lishmo one against one because it's Lishmo that didn't get in our minute stories. But it was didn't start. It should be known in the Baal Star. Going to think of Shmuel, we captains and ready and under the world. Because I have to mean our bosom. Bear the number, what's the matter? I have to mean my boss, chief is not because one is in Sugia and one is Baal Star. We don't jack up. The other thing is we don't jack up. The Shliach personality is not angels. And the Maskon is angels. And I need Maskon is I need two. And the Shliach by make like that, fulfills the two. It's like two. Like the Mutioisim. They become like two, they like two, the Baal Salim. What? This is the Adam Maskon. And he said, like, how from my Rebbe? Because if people got a cash, by Sugia, let the first one create a Chazaka, and the second one's not believe gets his Chazaka of the other. And in my Rebbe, he explained that God cast the Kibei doesn't exist according to the ignorance. And you need to, so one is like two, and he mainly nullifies the one that comes after. Because the second one is not believed, like two. And only one, he cannot do that closer. And now he gets nullified by the first two, by the one, we train like two, because I need to. But by assuming I don't need two and one is only one, like the Havamina by Shliach, I can't go to this one. So you know the first one's just like one. And the second one is also one against one. He can even knock out, he says it. That logic, he got from his Rebbe. Since by assume I don't need two, I don't need angels, so one saves one. It's even discuss it that he created us, no meaning, and the fellow can come one against one and knock out the one and also discuss it. He made it glorified. What?
This is Erefa.
True is animal.
So why should he be like two? Yeah. Even to the Rambam, even to the Ritva.
One second. Yes, you understand. the shliach, the bar.
The Islam. It's a daughter to the Arab. No, it's not.
Because he's finding about the small, by these small, he's finding about the star, like the cities. The animal is the divorce. Not finding about the divorce. He's finding the headship. The headship of the star about the divorce. I understand.
It says a few places here that the second guy we don't listen to because
There's no gap in it. I understand.
to the Arab.
Right. So, look, that's also. So what's the question?
So even in the Ritva, right? He's going to be like 2 in Araba.
The Havin Masfoni is the same. The Havin was that is not a word. Havin was that since Ropekim or we have a Shroki, it's not ever. It's only Kapinit, it's not ever. That's how Masfoni is, it is ever. It is ever. So you make the Shia between that guy that fills the two. Maybe the balance out the lead, because it's ever. It gets nullified in the Shia. Same logic of the Rambam of the Litva by his Rebbe and Isuri, that he makes it those 3 things. And Isuri, that's a Maskona.
We're talking in the Havamina. We're trying to understand in the Havamina.
The Havamina is what? That is not ever. Then I don't need the angels.
We're trying to, and why can the second aid why can the ball knock out the first one?
If the first one is like 2, believe it.
He should be starting a surah. That's the case.
Right. Yes, 2 cases. So there'll be 2, and then we have the cousin. He's saying both things. It's not 2 because I don't need 2. Is not ever. The point I didn't is not ever. So he made it when I believe the Shia is 1 like he's suing, and he stays 1. You don't need the angels. So he stays 1. And I might create chazaka. But my Rebbe explained it, didn't explain that chazaka doesn't exist, because since the second 8 comes, he contradicts the first, 1 against 1. He made it, the chazaka is canceled. Then he made it, mafra. That's why the Chaim said that the castle of the Kiveg, the Yisugim, and the Yisad, doesn't exist according to that sheet. Because according to that sheet, the Yisugim is only 1. You don't need angels. So the Eichel creates chazaka, there's no need. Because the second is equal to him, and he cancels him, mafra, it's still a sucker.
The note say doesn't change from the Havamina Maskana.
It does.
The note say is going to be either Arab or not Arab.
Right.
But what changed is how we look at the Shalia.
That's before the time when
it's the Maskana Arab. It was the Arab in the Havamina.
No. You have to say that's exactly how it was. The Havamina was that you need angels, because not ever. You only angels, you don't have angels. The Maskana is no. You need the angels.
And
You know, I need angels, but it's not like that. In the fulfill the respect of 2. It's exactly how. Where did he get it from? He got it from the Yeshua. Yeshua, that's where he went to Maskana. But that's what Yeshua. He adopted the longest of it from his Rebbe and Kinoigan. That by the Nemukiois, by those 3 things, the first aid is like 2 because I need 2, is like 2, and the second aid is not believing the matter. There's only 1 is not believing. To create a contradiction, it gets nullified by the first one became like 2. And by Yisuri, the first one was 1 because they only need 2. It's enough 1, and he's 1. And the second aid is 1 against 1. I the first aid created chazaka. The Rebbe said there's no meaning of giving an answer to that opinion because I got to my prayer. And my Rebbe's logic. She would adopt it to the Shia. That's the whole piece. But by a point to the Alpha. It's 2. Once a day, believe on everything's like 2. Doesn't matter if it's Sugia or those 3 things. Everything is all the same. It can be called on, it can be Erwa. Once you believe on everything is like 2. Doesn't matter, it's not because the matter needs 2. You need angels, so you don't need angels. Everywhere you need angels, and the Torah says 1, 1 is like 2, and also like 2 don't need angels. So the machlokes, according to the shah between the Rambam and the Ritva, is by Surim, I need Eidus or not. And the Ari must follow it by us, by Sugia. The collector needs Eidus or not. Ari don't need Eidus, must come in Eidus. And according to the Rambam, the same thing. But I don't need anywhere I need Eidus. By those three things I need Eidus, one is like two. Also by Surim, I need Eidus. And one is like two. Yes.
Torah says it's something that a pasuk said we need to. It's a pasuk that says we need two, and then we say one after that. When you say Torah says, what do you mean that?
What is it exactly? The Torah needs Eidus.
The Torah meaning a pasuk. There's a pasuk that says like that from a pasuk.
A Mishnah, you don't know when you want to put up something up, you need to have Eidus. Period. So according to the Rambam on the second chapter of the Shah, they hold that always you need Eidus. Doesn't matter if it's Erva, doesn't matter if it's Isurim, you always need Eidus. And since you need Eidus, and if they believe one, because one is two. Just by those three things, the first one is believed. So like the second one is not believing in that. There's only belief to say the husband died, there was Truma. I saw the killer, but to say not so, he doesn't have the power. So he made that since he needs eight, he needs man, there's only one, he's out. That might only be at least one. But the first one is true. He's angels, you're not an angel, you're not good. Eight of them not fight angels, they're not fighting the two. But by the second opinion, that really there's no difference those three things in any suing. All of them need angels. So the first one is Eidus, second is not. Melee is one that can have about by Suga, I need Eidus. And the first one is belief to say in the matter, and the second one is also belief in the matter, equal. So you have two against two. Comes to keep Eidus says, since the first one is Eidus, and one is like two, he created Eidus, he also can create a Chazaka. Because through Chazaka, you can create Eidus through Chazaka, it's true. So maybe the second ending, which is like two, is already fighting Chazaka, and a Bechor, which is like Eidus. Five against his cards and whatever you are, those are the rules. One second, but that's the story. Later, it's actually not what the Rama. Really, the second name is not coming inside Eidus, it's coming inside Asoma. Asoma. So then it says, even by Yisuri, doubling, the only reason by Yisuri, that equal and the Kidei Knesset Chazek, when he's coming to fight, I think itself, that the Etzem Eidus on the subject, on the Nibon itself, the Ketzem, when we don't have to say Asama, by Yisuri, she has no power, he has no wings anymore. So the first one is like two, and the second one has no wings, nothing. See, remember, the first one wins, and he's nothing, there's no power. There's no peace.
Valentine says that it's not on that he's not like two.
What?
We learned the Valentine that he was on the wall that he's coming to Ephah.
Right.
How can you say he's like two?
So if you look clearly the Chaim Alevi in front of me, he said by Yisuri, by Yisuri, we can make the first one like two. But there's no meaning because the second one is also believed. I'm a matter. That's what he said. So so therefore I put the Rambam together with the second sheet. That according to the second sheet of the first one, you need Eidus. Because he says that Chaim Alevi says in his book, he says, according to the Rambam, there's no mind by those three things that he's all the same. Just by those three things, the second God is not believed, that's the error. I mean, there's only one, and you cannot create a kosher because the person became like two. By Yisuri, he says the person becomes like two. But the second one is also not two. That's what he said. Look in the end of the I'll show you here. You bring it, I want to bring it here. Yeah. I'm in there. Here. Look here. Read it loud if you could, please, open the sheet. Yes, in the left column, the last one, in the top paragraph, the last 3 lines of the top paragraph. Mashen can be Suri,
Mashen came the fourth line.
4th line.
Mashen came to service to read. The Eidat Neman Bayam. All Cain Amrinan the He, the Enom is Kate.
Because it's like two.
About Mikomokom Tavero Dantin Jen Eidat Allah. Being Cain, Ha Tavero Dantin Neman. The Eidat Neman Bisuri. Mamela.
You know what one?
The law on the time may I me high bear, make a bearer. Even the ain't a bearer, sorry, she hay a rishon move. Rag the gun Eidos Tavero Kayan, the Alzer, Haloma Niklal Hakdina, the Hermina Toyer Edakat, Hari Hu Krishna, the Indian, Shia Tavero Muktash. Saying that one is like two is only in one in a hakasha in one latina.
Right. So since on the matter both are equal, so that culture don't mean.
Yeah, but he said that there is no Hazokel.
One second.
There is no Hazokel.
What?
He mentioned that it doesn't matter that he came first or not.
Right, it doesn't matter. Why does it matter? Why does it matter?
So there is no.
Why it doesn't matter who came first, who came second? Because the fact that the first one became first and it became like two, is only that it cannot be contradicted. But on the matter itself, both are equal to be believed. So when I say the matter itself can be believed, means both like two, or both are one, and the matter itself, and everything's like two. When you read the Chaim Levi understood that not to be contradicted like I'm two. But on the matter itself, I'm one and he's also one, right? And the Shach is saying, we both are two. So, and that's why the Kibbutz has a catch. Since the first one is, needs Eidos and is like two. And the second one is also fighting, but it's Eidos like two. So then you have a catch, the first one being a Kazoko. So we might be because it came two Eidos, not two Eidos. So you have to add that it's not one, it's really two, on the matter itself. He made the Chazaka that he created, the Kibbutz has a problem, he created the Chazaka. Because according to the Yikra, by assuming that I don't need two in his one. So the first one is one, the second one is one. And the first one created Chazaka, because why doesn't have a count according to the Kibbutz? Not only according to the Ram, only according to the second sheet of the Shah. Understand? So the answer I said, even though maybe. Even that's what the Chaim Levi means the same thing. That when he says on the matter, he's a decal like he means is Eidos. Or a decal like him on the matter itself. And like the contradiction, he's like two. It doesn't matter, even if he's like two, he's two and I'm two. On the matter itself, so there's something. So the key name is Kasha says that why the first A didn't create a Chazaka. Since the first A is like two, and the second A is like two. So when they're equal on the matter of the Chazaka should be created. But it would be only Akosha, or even some Mujeres, an Akosha part, we believe. Because the first one is like two, you cannot do Akosha. So be a suffix. Be a suffix on the matter, because the mitzvah thing is like two, and the result of the matter. And the first one became like two, right? And he has a kosher only one against the 1 plus 1, but the yechid, you never it's not kosher. So there's not kosher is only 1 plus 1, but really the ones, two ones. They cannot do a kosher because the first one became like two, reference not kosher. You know, a real two that contradicted. So he stayed. And but reference to the matter, the aiding against this benefit to see have two against two. So you have two aiding against two aiding. But when you don't have aiding mujeres, you have aid echot. So it's finished. First one became two, you cannot contradict it. What about the matter? What about the matter itself?
Believe, but it's negative Hazokel.
What?
His belief, but it's negative Hazokel.
If the first one map needs two and is like two, so we create a Chazaka, we create a problem, it's Chazaka, but it's not two. However, when it comes to, we can only find a second one, according to the Nifal. According to the Rambam, the person's not two. There's only two ribs that are not to be mukash, and the second one cannot be believed because there's errors, there's only one. Let it one find the first one would became like two. But by assuming, according to the Rambam, by assuming the first one is what? Is Erecho. I'm using a primary example. That's it. And the second one is also Erecho. They both believe on the manner. Elomar made the first one like two to be protected. No meaning. Okay, so they're not to be contradicted. But on the matter, I have two opinions. That equal opinions. The Shtak said a little bit different. The Shtak said that the first one is like two, and the second one is like two. What would be if what about and once I'm like two on the matter, he made it as a caution. Because it comes once I believe equal to him on the matter. So therefore I'm not kishim. The person created chazaka. He has a problem. The person gave a chazaka. That's a good discussion. Created chazaka. That's a problem. But when he's not fighting on the matter, only on someone, he cannot create a question. What? He cannot create a someone because there's no the first one is true, and the second one is no power anymore. And when he starts with power fighting in the matter, so it's two against two the equal, which is what he has a character. That the first one that we create like two, create a chazaka, so the second one should not be good. Okay. This is the first piece. I want to now involve with piece number two. Yes.
A side question. The Shmuel says that it's aided, right? So what about the problem of the Ritva, who says that if it's aided, then you should be based in. You have to have a better status for based.
So they say they answer this question. The Ritva answers this question. The Ritva says, one who said, if it's not why doesn't it read the
He says it's only Yisur. It's not. It sounds like it's like not aided. It's only Yisur. Right. So you don't really need anybody.
Once. The Maskon is 2 or 3 is 8 nights a dynamo. Yeah, basically.
Kasha is you should need based and even further.
Come on, he's suing.
Kasha Ritva is you should need based and even further Lishma. So what's the Havamina of that?
So what do you answer?
The answer is that it's
the Havamina was really
this is talking about the Havamina more.
Right.
They said blame they're arguing.
Well, in small Havamina.
The answer is that the Rabbanim gave it a din of Isurim. Even though it's Erba, they gave it a din of Isurim, therefore it's not Eidos. Right.
But that's not the only answer that he's showing. There's another answer is that once we believe them, we jack it up. That's what he said. They will mark me on one thing, but on lenient on other things. Right? Here. In the Ritva, he says, and the time when we should be Kim stores, what we boil the Rabban that's the kilo should go to Shishak never down. Kabbalah said it's very key. Don't make it here, not make it here. I'm saying, what?
That's if you say Kiyum.
I know, but I'm using the same logic that will make million out here. You say same logic, you don't make it, you don't need Kabbalah say.
Was he giving his ages?
What are you talking about? We're talking about Giti. Giti is different. You can say that I want to make Shum and Kona to make it on one. The Shum and Kona to make it, you don't need Kabbalah say. If I didn't agree to that, says you always need Kabbalah say. Just the Arabic according to Rabbi Zisuri, according to Rabbi Zudini. So that's you need 2 or 3. Right? And in those Kabbalah was no Arabic, always you need Kabbalah say. Because one is Zisuri, one is not. But you can say not so, Kabbalah maker, should be good to Kabbalah maker, also not. So yes, without it. Story is, what if it's English, it's the case, you're right. Because Kabbalah should be good to him, should know Kabbalah. That ain't that good as a and you don't need English for the reason. That's another issue. It's not about finding it. It's not Kabbalah says for basic, according to the smaller, there's only enough 2. If you actually need 3, so you have Kabbalah says. Basic. Yeah, I thought you were asking something else. I thought you were asking something else, and that I couldn't figure out the answer. The answer is according to the Rambam or the second opinion of the Shah. that by Sugin you need Eidos. So I don't need Bezdin. And one is like two, just a second, it's also like two, I don't need Bezdin.
He said a stone, the shafts. And I live there.
Only to drag someone the Bezdin can. Yes, I think it's something, right?
We don't need it for the beginning.
Yeah, you can't live like that, so they don't need to us. If by assuming the person's like, they need, according to the second opinion, that by assuming you need Eidos. And one is like, which is the second one is like, where the Kabbalah says we're basic. The trail is not, the spot, I'll tell you. They understand here, you don't Kabbalah says, that's a cost. You can't live otherwise. I thought that we is. Whiskey on Shliach. Oh. So let's go back to us. Is it clear? One second, whether you have a problem still?
Not clear the Istazik part.
Oh, the Shmuel?
We begin with the Istazik part.
He gave to say that exactly what he said. He said the argument of the Gemara was that the Shliach is not Eidos. The Baal can contradict him, and he can remove these Istazik. But according to Maskona, you need Eidos, and the Shliach is like two. So he can create Istazik, and the Baal is not Nemo. That's exactly the logic of his Rebbe to explain that the cash of Eva doesn't exist according to the Ritva. Because according to the Ritva, by those three things, you need Eidos two, and one is like two. Right? So one is like two. So the second one is not believed, this one cannot fight, the two is glorified. But by Isuri, I don't need two, I don't need Eidos, enough one. Meaning that the first one is one, the second one is one. The first one clearly has it. The prime of the Sur, the Kidei doesn't have its calculus. Because of the first one, a deco Sur is one, and I don't need Eidos, these has no meaning. Because the second eight is also one, he's one, both are one, means both don't need their monos. And I don't need their monos, these has no meaning, because when the second one comes, and the first one is not Eidos, the second one is not Eidos, and they can make a suffix, and these has no meaning. But if the first one is Eidos, and I make them two, and the second one is Eidos, and I make them two, these has meaning, meaning. So it's exactly the habit must start. Of the Gemara, by getting, do I need, by getting Shliach again, I need it, I don't need it. No, we need Eidos, and it's like two. And he also made his chazak. Both. It's like two, and he created his chazak. It's true, you have also Eidos. So that's primarily why I need his chazak both. But this is something itself. Something itself is don't show them. The first one is like two. You need both. That's all the primarily. But I have both. According to Maskon. According to the Rabbi, it's not Eidos. So when the Primarily said that the Catholic Kidei doesn't fit, according to the Ritva, according to the Rambam, that's Ritva is a Maskana. Sorry. Ritva is the Rabbanino, that by Yisum is only Echad, only Eidos is only one. Maybe these has a meaning. And by the Maskana Sagamol is like the Rambam, that by Yisum I need two, and I have two. Just the second one is also like two. So he made it, it's a country, we create this Chazer. And that's a Maskana Sagamol. Yes. Well, they're not talking about the same subject. They're talking about those three things in Isuri. The question, how do you define Shliach? Shliach by people. I define it, I need Eidos. I don't need Eidos. The other is I don't need Eidos. So you may follows the logic of the Ritva. You see the Ritva says that when I don't need Eidos, I said, this has no meaning. But the Maskana Sagamon I need Eidos. So it follows the logic that the time said by Yisum, which is true. We create this chazak and give us a cash in this chazak.
So
that's what he did.
So
This is the whole beauty of the piece. He copied the logic of his Rebbe, and he made that sound in the Maskana.
if that is the chart,
Yes.
Ma'ava Mina, in Isuri, we need regular Isuri, we need midnight, right? In regular Isuri.
No.
No, so here in Sharia, also, Ma'ava Mina, to send the Dayan. It's a Mashal called Isuri Shabbatorah. שלא צריך לנהל, בן אדם מגיע, הוא קשה.
I don't know. Before the time, I think Shmuel would say, like the Bill asked in the beginning, that the level of what is it geeking, nothing changed. Just the question is, when the Torah believed, when the Chacham believed the Shliach, and Mishum Kavagabonon is not cool as Kumar, says, no, the Shliach is made like that. But nothing changed when you learn to come over simply, nothing changed in the level of requirement in geeking of how much they need aims and others. Because once the kind of snow, that I have, and also the issue already said it before. The Havamina was that I don't need Agus, and that's why we leave one aid, and therefore it's Humma, it's not a Humma, because the Balkanaka. It was no, made a mistake. I need Agus. And they therefore fulfills the requirement, that guy. You read the Gemara when wants to make like that, it seems to be the same premise, just made like that. Well, only added made like that, and if they were sure, and the was a song, they never changed the understanding by saying that you didn't even. I won't say Kiddush was like the equals, it means no. The Gemara didn't say the extra point. What?
Without
Yes.
Without it being like that,
Yes.
I wouldn't think that the Shliach is like any Misurim Shabbat, without the thing like that.
Yes.
I think like in Hadikat Chedem,
Yes.
we need like that.
No.
So even in Isha, I don't need like that. Just it's a matter that he's believe like it's the same, it's Eidos, like in every story, like he's saying that. So we don't need that, oh, you'll be smart, take a look.
Yeah, but if it's like Sunni, and you want to make like that, so the husband that you believe, what do you get? What did he gain by the Shia? Said one of the left will come later on with the short nigga, you want them to be protected, to protect the woman, you didn't protect. So you have to say, change the premise, I need angels. And the Shia fulfills like it was made like that. You made enough, I believe. Because the first one was like 2. That's the whole point. Okay. Base. Where is Abraham? Base. If Simcha family, yes, once I need to put you on the seat because I can't hear. Go ahead and speak. Hello? You can speak. Wow, I'm speaking. Okay. Human base. Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. Yes, I can move it closer. Go ahead. Good, that's what the issue was. Good. Simon base. Here in Simon base, if Simcha Zeli basically 4 is ready. Start in the movie yourself. And because one says, I don't agree with him. Honestly, I can find it. Yeah. So what does he start? Let's see what he said. And Simon begs, he brings down the Rikva. And Simon begs, he brings down the Rikva. The Rikva says, I want to read the language of the Rikva inside. Bring the question here on the table, and the solution of Simcha Zeli, and the kashas of the Bika Shmuel against it. But the Bika Shmuel doesn't give a solution. That's the problem. Yeah. Oh, the problem. Kashas, we enjoy kashas, but it doesn't help us. Okay, it's maybe one of the students who get a solution. Okay, this is as follows. What? That's costly. Sure. Not always, sometimes he does. Right? Most time he doesn't. Yeah. That's why we want to get out of the ghosts. We want to get out of the exile. What the Yama do?
Also take
All the tables, all the killers, cashes, all those cashes, it is. The waiting for Mashiach. And anyway, the Muslim fools, I want to speak a very important Muslims. Say in English, mucho importante. Very important.
Spanish.
In Hebrew. Very important. Very important. I put this book called A Slav, this booklet. Eight last week, for the causing me big damage. Because of this, I didn't sleep 2 days, I didn't sleep all night. Next day I had it. Last night I didn't sleep. It bothered me so much. I wrote a whole Ma'amar against it. I want to explain this very important book. 100% is true, but not 100% true. This is Rabbi O'Connor. I want to explain what I heard from my father many years, and from Rabbi Zimmerman many years, how to solve this problem, and it's very relevant to us, to our world that we exist. What do we have to look for? Take this sometime, we need at least half an hour. Sometimes. Yeah, so I want to go glance through the biggest one in base, and start with the Musar. Start with Musar, it's a shield in understanding what is the state of Israel. According to the Torah. Very important. Are we stuck there? Are we Mizrahi? Are we the Haredi? Or there's a fourth possibility? Please like stuck there. And this is the third opinion. And the fourth opinion I want to explain today, which I heard from my father, will explain in length today in this lesson. Mucho importante. Very important. What is the state of Israel? This is like the extreme Haredi. I'll explain, you'll see. That's what he is. Where it comes out, Sion, just see what I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's right. It's an hour and a half in traffic.
Hour and a half in traffic. That's okay. Let's go quickly on the egg roll. Let's start like this. The Yosef says, "Dafka baby shlomo shlomo b'inam shnayim v'nino l'seh shlomo b'nei shmai." By need to, and I need to go. It's all true. Aval b'yisu ba'alma v'sugi b'lecha. B'yisu ba'al the left one. And since Caleb shlomo l'tekam, I read you only like one. Yossi Achino Marker, because it's cutting it out when another guy comes contradicting one against one. Come to the Shah, he has a cash on the heat. Everyone rufo. Even for going to the heat. I know that I need two ones like two. So I don't need two is when you learn, when it gets one, which is the real anybody can believe it. One is like two only existed ever, not by soon. Because one said, everyone is free. Because everyone has to do with what we call them. To bring the sacrifice and cut. He had the cup, the cat, right? You take a cat, or we have a cat. It's a couple, right? Okay, it's a couple. It's about a prohibition. So I saw the killer, I didn't see the killer to remove the ground from that, it's subject to be sued in the prohibition. So you made that, how can they be from earth? That every way that I need two, you see, I only need two on is one. Everyone who tried to make was before. And then we say one is true. The first one says I saw the killer. It's like true, the second guy says he didn't see. It's not never one is one against true. You say come up with the that's an issue we learn in your moments. That's what I mean, it's when you mention cycle. So he said like this, Veshamati Bishan Yubuti are going to go outside the psychazelic priest. It was the outbase of the priest. And he heard from him. The grace came on time. Why? We're finishing now, but at least you're going to hear the Musar. Very important Musar. It's special made for you and those for that. Special made. You'll see in the end what I mean. Special made. You know, we wear special made suit, special made pants, design tailored man. This. I'm reading now, I explain by heart the concept, and I say what the Psychazelic does. So I want the Psychazelic, it's very hard to understand what he's saying. But I understand what he did is he took the Ritva and he moved it to the Rambam. Not like the Chaim or the Shach made Hitler against the Rambam. Right? He took the Hitler and he melted down because of the culture. Egla Aruf is Isuri, as Korban, and there we give him the power like fruit. Says no. So I'm reading inside. Shetiretz Kushas Rashai. והריפה לא יכול לחלק בדור שבערב לשאר איסורים, לעניין המבושל. Says no. The ripa subject matter was not to say that it's like two. Reference to ergo I need two is like two, Isurim I need one is one. You never did the same.
Where are you reading?
Inside of it,
Yeah.
8 lines at the bottom of the right column. 8 lines, 8 líneas desde abajo. Right. Que Shobana is Israeli. There's only one line I know by how this is. Shobana is Israeli. Well, I told you contradicted with this explanation. They know many people. He's not testifying about the piece itself. Only like a zone contradict the law. They can go through like amazing when it comes to Razon. That's how they should. The Father, they will never like to say that he should surely is never to believe they contradict the first 8. They have careful of the He's saying there's no difference between Erva and Isui. Both of them, if they do a kosher, only a kosher for a summer, only a summer, according to they contradict the first one, only to do a summer. Now to talk about the subject, when I do a kosher, I also do a kosher as a summer. I do about the matter, I also contradict the one. But if I don't contradict the one, you go as in, I only say as though you with me, the people with me, I only do a kosher. I didn't know looking at one age only a kosher. For a summer, as long as one age is a kosher. So he says there's no difference between Isurim and Erva, what he said. That the first one is like 2. That's why I go out for, which is only a zone, but the first is like 2. So what did they have? What did they from the king get Erva? About the only the going when the subject matter is about the subject itself, the piece itself. When the subject is dealing with the basement, you're providing to our Israel. Like the first supply, like the first one. And then truly been put as a caution in them, free from the living of contradictory Napoli. Because the first like 2, that we have open schneiders, like when it gets through. Because look, when I went to Neymar, that was 80 after the thing itself, I believe. Again, it contradicts. Doesn't matter if it's ever like you're not contradict because it's like 2, or even Isurim, the people agree with by Isurim, the first one is only one, it's not one in the stage 1. There's only one in stage 1s on the map. Because the second one can contradict them, both are one on the matter. And now we get out. The people agrees that the first was like 2 was that cannot do a caution. The same whole culture they soon. The only and the thing itself was a different thing already soon. I mean, they believed you. There's one we find. I and the matter itself, you're not believing, you need proof. So the second one's not believing. First one is belief, then you go to special belief. But really, without the sequence of the matter itself, it don't show up what it is believing. Not the second one, not the first one, because there's a question. And the matter itself, you need agents, you need proof. By screen, and the matter itself, it's about far, and I don't know, what I know. But really, on the across the side, there's no different error assuming, but I jack up the first one like 2. I don't know how it fits in the words of the Hebrew, but that's what he says. What you do, but before that, now we have a very good solution. He came with a name of the since he got testifying on the thing itself, on the subject itself. And I feel like I could just say, he only comes to say, I didn't see, that kind to say, I saw the killers about the subject. Didn't see is the negative. It's not about the subject. It's what you said you saw, you didn't see. But I don't know if the guy killed or not killed or somebody else saw it, I don't know. I thought I could say this, that the angels of the Abraham, they didn't see, it's only contradicting like Azoma. And on that, like I'm understand. So even though he's suing, even Abraham is called and he's suing, but the first one was like, dude, what really he said? What Usher really did, he took the heat for him and brought it down to the second sheet, like that one. What did he do? What did the questions do? He said, really, everybody agrees that the first one's like two. But it's not kosher. Right? He's not saying that by if I need to, and if I believe it, must be like two. By soon I don't need to, and if I believe it's very well, it's not saying that. He's saying by whatever and by seeing, once I believe, once I believe so to speak, it's like two references that nobody can contradict. And I do by seeing. If I only do a kosher, I cannot do a kosher. Not only by error, I cannot do a kosher because I'm not believe I'm not to. No, I also cannot do a kosher. I'm not to, I'm a different. Like we do a kosher at least one, do a kosher again, because the person became like two. That concept goes into by soon. And the second guy cannot find the first one because like two. Right? It's like two. The difference between error and assumes in the matter itself. So I'm going to reread the Hebrew. Let's read the Hebrew again. I'm reading at the beginning of the piece for first small paragraph. The second story, the reads the last of the game. The baby goes up there with the shining, and he will sell shining, it's the shining. And I believe this witness that says the husband died like doing the matter itself. Not only not to be contradicted, not only not someone, not to be Musar, not to be Musar. And the matter itself, because if they believe them, says true. About the issue, the hell of the city of God, the issue about the marriage, there's enough warm. Given to the Lord sees, and the matter itself, I can believe my God. You said he has to have she said the subject of the heat was not about a culture of God. It's talking about the blood of Jesus. Everybody like you. He's believed in the man itself, and he's so believing in the man itself. So there was only one. He's one other one is one. So therefore, so let's now list the results. On 23, they said, but both matters, and what he's suing, right? The first one came first as the husband died. He's not only two on the matter, he's also two not to be contradicted, and not also by suing. Although about the matter itself is one and second is one, but not to be contradicted. The first was like two. Also by suing. So therefore, the end of my two. So the neighbor is basically until now we have the need for the Ramba or the need for the second opinion of the shop. Right? The need for learn by his error, I need two and the side two. And by suing, I need one instead of one. I don't need two. And therefore I don't have the rule by suing to look on. The rule of the look I don't have. But according to the Rambam, Isurim and Erev is going to say, I have to work at least to be perfected, not to be contradicted. That's the Chaim Alevi, right? He basically starts the Nutiyah like the Chaim Alevi went to the Rambam. He said, right? He said the second of Eloh's 2 and 2. He showed me that Rambam learns that all those three things in Isurim is one against one, right? And by Isurim, it's a contradictory. This is the Rosh Hashanah. What Rosh Hashanah did, what he did is he said, everybody saw was on the same, as far as Akash was like two. And then after there's a difference. Everyone, the man is there on those 3 days. And and two things, they go this, and a story, and the matter is only one, and one can find out, but they contradict, and the matter. But they contradict the first one, he has the power of two, because when they believe. However, our roof rise, which is assuming. So the first, on the matter itself, the verse is I saw the camera, and the matter from the window. The second was, I saw that I didn't see him very well. One can get some skin fight, but he can't. He can find the matter, but he cannot find to remove the first one, because the first one came first, we paid a kazaka. So if you fought against the matter, and through the matter you fight, you mock each like by assuming you prove. But since Abraham was only at Kosher, it's not through on the matter and the need through that I'm doing a Kosher. I'm only doing a Tzubah, because by Abraham is always the Tzubah, right? Because to say you didn't see the dominant the matter is not even on the need, it's only a Tzubah. Since by Abraham was never through the matter, never through the need, it's only a Tzubah, even by assuming. We said according to the second chipping of the shot, but here the question says, even the Lukiyos agrees to that, the way you're not taking all the matter, so the neighbor is you only do that somewhere, she won't have to push down on the two, but through the two and the matter and the people you can contradict the first one, the rest of the verse is that even these consequences that keeping as a national kid, but when you only do direct to someone, everybody will agree. He can't. That's a survey, brother.
That's what we put with the other cases of Pharaoh.
Yes.
Because
I need to, and I mentioned two, but I need to mention two not only on the matter itself, also not to be contradicted. I'm sure on the matter itself is not like there's only one, only against one, but not to be contradicted, yes, like a brother is saying about. Remember, Abraham is always not having the matter. It's finding that caution because it's once as I saw, once I didn't see this is not about any one. So it will be a difference between normally serving and the matter itself. The first one is true, the eight's name and the second name. The first one because like two, we said, forget about it, come like two, and I'm not funny. My agents are not only a caution, agents are a perfect caution. So I run that course, I'm not believing, but at least I'm legal. I have two ways, one against one on that course itself. But I think I'm moving everything to the legal. So when I go against someone, they don't agree, even if I don't know, which is even the case, that it's not the man, it's not the person. Was like, because one was like it, but simply nice, this too. The subject matter of Abraham, it's about sort of kilometers, so you just can see the Negro, that's the Negro. He doesn't like this. Okay. He doesn't get me really influential, but this is what it is. I want to this. The next we're going to start in Musar. Next week we're going to move on to Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Meir and Rabbi. We're reading all one suit. All one thing. You look at the Kashmir, you have about 14, 15. It's all the same. All different way. What is Shah and the Shmuel and how to work at Hasima, the Mithira, and what the Shia is saying. It's all surrounding the same thing. What? I'm going to give out the thing. What? And the Gimel Amud Aleph, Gimel Amud Beis, Daled Amud Aleph. You have to learn just the Gemara itself. So the Gemara says in the Messiah and the Hasima, or Rabbi Yehuda, the three opinions, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi and Rabbi Yehuda. And we're going to first elaborate what is the Shtar, Kote Rabbi, Kote Rabbi. Then we're going to talk about how the Gittin is being done. There's about 3 or 4 steps here that we're going to go through. Through all the Rishonim will leave, and only then we know the Rishonim will that holy. Then we'll go to the Yeshua, will be much easier, will be like butter. Instead of butter. But first you have to go through steps. And the Rishonim. Or there's Daled, Hey, Bo, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, all these things about the same matter. But if you don't learn the steps of the Rishonim, In the Gemara, it's all bumblebee. You know what we're talking about. They're like a salad. Go to the steps, go to the Rishonim, you have Rabbi Tam, you have David, the Ran, the Haman, you have to learn, there's a lot of parts. You have to learn, there's a lot to learn. At least a month, maybe 2 months, maybe. Just to understand the steps. At least. After 2 months, we understand better how it works and how shower works, that was the cutting and the other over there. There's so much there, but it's very important to learn once for all well. Put the energy to the end, get well, because he's showing me. Okay. Musar. If you're sure, you want to call your friends in. Okay. Important share when you get there. Very important. I'm going to start with the Zohar Kodesh. Okay? I'm going to start with the Zohar. The Zohar Kodesh brings down, it's called in Nehemiah, Parashas Pinchas, Daf Reish Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph Amud Beis. Okay? I want to start with the Zohar, very important. I'm going to read the whole piece. Okay? Very important Zohar. We'll start with this. I really wanted to print it out for everyone to see your own eyes. Has to do this. It's the guy in the Zohar in Pinchas, Parashas Pinchas, Daf Reish Lamed Zayin. Yes. I'm reading the language of this one. Okay. Umaksid Chuni Chem Truma Lashem. It says you should take from your own donations to God. It's not what it says, but do not take it from the enemy. What does it mean? And from you, from the Jewish people, do not accept donations. You understand, Liao? Do not accept donations from the enemy. They're now considered congregation, a people, and a connection. Do not accept any donations and connection until you're going to remove from you there. If not to be salving denial, and the time when they would have a mix with the Jewish people, he really wanted to clear. I see it for that one nation. It's very important to teach today. There's work to come down and see them. The heads. But they can't do for that. You can take donation from yourself. The money you should cannot in any other part. So if I even the short front, even if you want to do not attach any other people between you and yourself. Not only that, Erev Rav in the Rebbe Yisrael, when the Arab are already mixed with the Jewish people, mingle with the Jews. My seed also in the it says that when the Arab are mixed with us, problems that make us struggle be the heads. When they mix with us, they become our heads. Israel, Basar, the Misrach, when the Jewish people, after they succeed, they separate themselves from it. Even Maxid, and then what does it say? It says, you can lift all the heads of the congregation of the Jewish people. But not only that, Hashem said, I'm not burning with Dayan. I want to live between the gods. I want to live amongst you. I'm one with you. They see those who live with us. I want to live amongst you in your mikdash. Now I could, when the donations and separation would all mix and mingle with Erev, then Hashem can shrink it between us. Very important Sugia, so deep, so serious, and very serious. Not only that, not only that, when the Jewish people are in exile, Andon has been said, what prevents us to God it goes? What prevents us to the Geula is the levitin, the soil in the dough. When I have levitin soil in the dough, the levitin, the soil, the vomits, prevents us, the Erev that removes us, prevents us from the Geula. There are only and already the Bible Mishnayos took this concept of saying what, which means we have tradition. The masters of Mishnayos put this concept on us, which means they taught us this. But Shimon says we got this from tradition of what? This. It's Mama, the Erev Rav, Imun Rosh Israel. And the time when the Erev Rav are the leaders of the Jewish people, if Yochel as if you Avrin Shulton the Kuchobik as if the kingdom of God is being set away. Because if they are leaders, if they are the kingdom of Hashem is being sent away. Can mix together.
Was Avi what?
Avrin, Shulton the Kuchobik. The Shulton the government of the Jew of Hashem has been removed. And they made God's ruling government, they removed the kingdom of Hashem. And they made and they enter the rules of the stars and the constellations. Okay, and then some of you are because of this. Hashem came with God our master. He's been played by masters who will set are not you beside you. This is
missing end of the battle.
The last line is that we shout to God.
Why you shout?
We shout because of that. We shout to God. God, other people control us besides you. Qualitate us, master, not you. Okay. I want to explain this concept, and I want to explain from this where the Satmer, the Bris talking about the Mizrahi. What's going on? It's a very big title. So first of all, what does it say? Something says there's something very important. It says here that when we have the Erev Rav become the leaders, the shilton, the country's Arab, Jewish people. And as they explain many places in the Zohar and Midrashim, Arab doesn't mean non-Jewish people. It can be children of Talmidei Chachamim, Jewish people, but they have the cancer of it, which means they have a cancer of the Zohar, not godliness in the world. That's it. Now we have to understand, what does it mean that Erva will remove the kingdom of Hashem? Where's the kingdom of Hashem that is being removed? And how do we remove the kingdom of Hashem? The answer is very simple. This is very important. The kingdom of Hashem is an Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is the land of Hashem. And this is what it says in the Drosh of the Ramban Rosh Hashanah. It says, Lo Yeshu Boris Be'etz Hashem. He says, what does it mean, the Eretz Hashem? The whole world is the land of Hashem. You remember the Chaim Fisher? You had me on the first Rashi. What is in the land? Eretz. Oretz. Oretz is Eretz Yisrael for the whole world. Eretz. The Ramban says, Mechien kol ha'olam Eretz Hashem. Akol Borah, Akol Yotzar. And Yesoid HaTorah, the foundation of this, the Ramban said, it says, Ba'anchel elon goyim, ba'afidot le'adam, ki chelek Hashem amor, Yaakov chelek machalos. The Nachla of Hashem, the land of Hashem, is an Eretz Yisrael. So where Hashem is the king, in Eretz Yisrael. What does it mean he's the king? His kingdom is being ruled. If we are in the land of Hashem, rules it above all the nature. It's not under the constellations of stars. In the land of Eretz Yisrael is direct under the kingdom of Hashem. The Zohar says like this, Chelik plays that fine this, it plays like this. The Zohar says, if you look all over the whole Chumash, Moshe Rabbeinu says like this. You got to tell them, I'll tell you something. Hashem only care of God. You came up here, your God. What's your God? Your God. It's not Moshe Rabbeinu's God. That's what it is. What do you mean? It's only our God, not Moshe Rabbeinu's God. She said yes. Because it says, Moshe Rabbeinu did not enter the land of Israel. And he said, this is your God because you want to enter the land of Israel, be your God there. But for me, it's not. And that's why anyone who lives in Chutz La'aretz. But like we were not a God. That's what he said. Yeah. There's also because we learned from. Yeah. אבל אני גם חושב שמאוד מציעים ותראה עם חוטוי כי עכשיו הוא יקרה את חום ודבר את החיימו עכשיו גם עשיר לחום עכשיו יקרה יש לו יקרו וכולי יחי there's many places of the prayer no God כל הרבה אמת ישראל any of the steps of prayer לא יהיה כאילו תהליך שתהיה בסרם וכל הרבה בחוץ וצגלים ובחוץ כי משאר לו כזה דבר, מה יקרה? לא צריך את זה. לא נתנים בחוץ לארץ את לא גם. משום דזה או קדישו, לאה או קדישו so. Because the Holy See of the Jewish people are entering the Holy Land of Hashem. And the Shechina Grasias, the Shechina sits in Israel. And the high down corridor, where is the depends on the other? The Shechina depends on the land of Israel. Without that, you see the Shechina. And Moshe, what you could say, my God. And Moshe, let go about it, you know, Moshe said to the Jews, you go, you go. But and at the end of the sin in the middle of the beginning, so you're going to come to the land and says, because you're going to be the God in the land of Hashem. With a couple opportunity to receive the Shechina. But why did he say, we can't know our God? You should do a Moshe, Moshe wasn't so able to land of it. So that is God. The Jewish people got scared. And that's why all of the plan says draw control. Okay, this what it says. And then you need Rosh. Also, we got a broken. That's broken, and then it's a direct that's broken to the screen of Rosh. And this is very important, the last one. This is a punchline. This is for you guys. The Ashkoras Hashkina that Israel is only through the Torah. Not only in the name of Hashem, not only in the name of Torah, and only here we have God. This is the Shekhinah of Hashem. The Shekhinah of Israel only comes through the Torah. This was something as well. This is not a kingdom of some Yesa Maketa Mudah. God also started to say something like this. You should love God, listen to his voice, and gluten the dove because it's your life and length of your days to stick on the land that God promised your forefathers out of which of the Yaakov to give to them. This is the language of the Zohar. Talk, come and see. I'll call to mind the God that could be all the decrees of the Torah, the dealing, the decrees, the exodus. It's only when they come to land in Israel. God said on the right side, my time. Why the saying of the Torah is an episode. Making the sheet of the Messiah for the hour, and the rice. The sheet of the Messiah not settled only through the Torah. The Torah, the Shekhinah cannot settle up above, only through the Torah word. Down here. So this is my father of Shimon. This is Gabloza speaking. This is my father of Shimon. This is my father of Shimon said. This is Gabloza testifying. When his father of Shimon said, the reason for it, when you show that begin to tell about it, tell us we cannot understand the reason for it only through the orange. Those are obvious. The orange cannot be in the Mishnah, cannot be in the soup or the details of the Kabbalah. The Lord says, that's what it's like. Shkita, the Shkita, the presence of Hashem, no Messiah cannot sit above, and the rice in the person we want to tell you here. Because we got the rice in the Shkita, when the Torah is being exist, the world can exist. When you can find the Torah in the world, your hero may come out like the world can see. I don't the secret, I never the shores of Adom. It's your right to sit in the land. I don't the sun, the land is in the world, but they stop running Torah. No, you're not cannot say. The sea of the why the land was destroyed when it came out? The Gemara says, everybody has why. This is the Zohar. Okay, many things to it. Cannot exist without us running to it. The Shekhinah cannot rest in the world. Rest cannot exist, cannot enter unless we heal our Torah and that's his soul. Doesn't work. Why is it like when we don't learn Torah? We leave it to soil. The Shekhinah goes down. The third was everything goes there. Now let's go back to the Zohar minute. When the Torah goes away, when you have Kodesh of the Torah, if you're going to see the proof on it, the ruling, the government of Hashem, he moves over from his land.
But in the second temple, they have a single kingdom. They have toilet, 24,000. They have a lot of toilet, but they hate each other.
Yeah, but Toyo, that needles not Toyo. This was all it says. No place come and see. It's all I have got to come this. Come and see. I have been soil and showing I have been miracle. But whenever it's soil, you don't have any minister, any angel that controls us. I put your people will only Hashem controls the land. When we start with the Kabul soil, where the Jewish people sins, I'm going to capture the Kabul and keep the ground, and then you do a place means they go out and resort to other gods inside the land. Keep your heart at higher street to us. They as if they push away the Shekhinah from the land of Israel. Okay, they decide on Shultono. That's why they're going have the power to control us. They can then show to Shayami, Brooklyn Levine, why did Levine stop another nation control us? Because we sinned, we pushed away the Shekhinah. That's why there's other controls. And that's why the Beit Sheni, the control of other nation never stopped, because the Jewish people still sin. And also in the exile, when the Shekhinah is amongst other nations, surely there's no Shekhinah. In the place of other controllers control. But in the time when the Jewish people sit in the land and they serve Hashem, avoid with Hashem, the Shekhinah was with them, it sneezed amongst them, and never went outside from their house, never left the house, with the house of Hashem. That's this one. Outside to be revealed, therefore open the V, and when that time, they didn't accept the Nebuah on the Israel. After Israel, you cannot accept the Nebuah. That's why you're ran away from Israel. Okay. This is the picture. Okay. So I want to explain how we have 4 opinions. There's a lot more to it. I'm jumping. I want to get to the end of this already. 143. I'm just going to find 1 minute. I want to explain the 4 opinions. Actually, he brings 3 and he holds on the 3rd. But I think it's wrong. I want to explain this. I heard my father. I'm amazing. Yes. We're going to have to do this on. Let's go back. We have here 3 opinions, major opinions. The Satmar, what about the Satmar? They say, listen, the Arab control the state of Israel. And when you have the Shulchan of Arab, there's no Shulchan of Hashem. And why Hashem made it to have Jewish people control my land? It's a mess of something. The whole thing is not going to last, and the land of Israel, the Shulchan, the country said Israel will be collapsing. It's a moment like Chokhmah is not going to last. The Satmar's opinion that the state of Israel is against the oath of Hashem, not to be in this Arab Ra. It's a nice Sotron that a Sotron won, and he gave the Arab Ra the power to create a government in the land of Israel. And it's a government against God, and there's no Shekhinah here, and you have to run away. There's nothing to be in Eretz Yisrael now. There's no Shekhinah. Get out of here. That's what God. I mean, we're going to express that point. And that's why the one they say, and Europe, they're all going to do.
They think they're going to pass the Shekhinah in Shul.
Shekhinah is synagogue, finished. There's no Shekhinah in Israel because when there is government which is against Hashem, that moves the government of Hashem can't be together. So it's a nice Sodom, will collapse the man as well. Yes, this is the Satmar Rebbe's opinion. To the contrast, the Mizrahi opinion, so no, the Mizrahi says no, it's not Sodom, it's the end of Hashem, and not Jewish people, and the holy people, and we have a lot of passions, a lot of Abraham. We can't understand Hashem's ways. But I try to do more and everything fine. And even when they tell us, and that was a big crack in the Mizrahi, when they gave back Gaza Strip, Gushkati, they had a problem. The government's supposed to be representing Hashem's kingdom. When the Golos started, how can they go against Hashem and give back the land, and give back the Gaza Strip? They collapsed. and then the Mizrahi split the two. We have those hilltops here, guys. Remember the hilltop guys? They held, it's all fake, the Haredim are right. You'll see the third of them. They cracked away from the Mizrahi. It was a big crack. No? You guys lived it, so what? Yes. And a lot of people cracked away from it. You have Aramo, you have a lot of yeshivas in Latin as well that broke away from Mizrahi. And today in the government, we have Smotrich, which is more Haredi type Mizrahi. And on the Mizrahi inside, the Torah like Bennett believes the government is a kingdom, the beginning of the Gola, okay. This is the second opinion, which we don't hold is true. The third opinion, which is the Haredi East opinion, they hold like this. They removes away the kingdom of the Abraham, removes the kingdom of Hashem, and what brings the kingdom of Hashem is the tzadiki. I am my son, no? That's what he said. I'm joking. But the tzadiki, the tzadiki, the people of similarly yeshivas, they bring their kingdom. And once, really, the kingdom of Hashem has been removed from the kingdom of the because when the Arab is here, is against the kingdom of Hashem. Removes away the kingdom of Hashem. The kingdom runs away. The only way to bring before the government was here, 75 years ago, 200 years ago, we had the Great Yunga, you had the Baal Shem Tov, a lot of people came to Israel, and you have the Ashari people, and they going up, they came to Israel way before this Arab came. So choose a nice summer, it's like Hatsi Sapa. It's a nice summer that the government is in Arab and remove the Shkina. But we're here before, and we own Hashem, we didn't succeed, but we have to stay here and we're turning on, and through all you turning on, slowly we're going to remove the kingdom of Hashem, and that's why they don't agree for the government. And I would say they have to now, the police. They pray that this government will be destroyed like something. The Haredi people, about 30 years ago, should know the Haredi people they were never part of the government of Israel. They never were ministers, they never took part of the government of Israel. Rabbi Yosef was the first one that he broke the ice, and he took ministry to be part of the government, but not only certain things. So we change the Korean they all mix between. In one way, they don't believe in the government, but in another way, they want to sit as much as we can do to continue living here before the government. And now more Jews came, but we are part of the manshik of the Talmidei Agro, Baal Shem Tov, that this government is Shilton of Era, and we should get away from it. What can you do? So we have to exist. So we should stop as much as we can from them. And pray to God, be glad. This is the opinion of the normal, traditional Haredi or the peaceful. Executing. Like what I just said now. That the government is. But now the Haredi people in the last 20 years, they're very vulnerable, especially in this war. Why? Because in other hand, they're part of the government, they will not only suck, but you can't just suck. So you have to be part of it. And part of the Haredi, Shah started to become ministers, and also the Agudas also became ministers. Some of them, so we're mixed up, we're ministers, not ministers. What's the right idea? We part of, not part of that. And people are all mixed up, it's a big mix up. Rabbi Goldstein, the father of the rabbis in the Lord, he said it many times. The name of his rabbi, Rabbi Sidon. He said, no, there's a third opinion. Now I want to explain this today. The fourth opinion. That's why it couldn't bother me so much when I see this thing. I can write out the whole say to my mind that is wrong. What? Good. I want to explain the fourth opinion. The fourth opinion is Rabbi Zimmer's opinion. It's very important because you guys have the issue. You're part of the government. You see some Haredi went to the army and say, you don't want to talk about army. You don't want to talk about army. You don't want to talk about army. They are what is the message? I want to explain what my father said. The Rabbi Zidane explained here. I'll start with the Chavetz. Much important. The Chavetz said as follows. The goal of the exile is to beat up the Jewish people, bunch, until it happens, until we do tshuva. But it's kind of think what these hands are going to say. And most of the Jews are running away from Yiddish, trying to get married, they come in Germany and West Europe, they'll be gone in America, they'll be assimilated. So how can you accept all this? You lose the claim of those that you about the things they do. It's in so much punch, it's so much burden, so much fame, and so much power to put on us. We losing and I do things in the back point of keeping on the goals. He said, that's why we have to come back to Israel. We actually gave us the power to be the kingdom. What do you mean? But the Jewish people aren't ready. The majority of the Jews are not religious. So look on the amazing Ashkocha Yoima, the amazing the hands of Hashem. Unbelievable, our thoughts are not the thoughts of Hashem. What? My father, when he was a young man, he fought for the state of Israel. And then he changed his mind, said, state is not religious. I have to change education. When he came to Lenin's, he took money from the government. And this is understanding those scholars. Very important. This is just like lowness to understand that that's what's going on. There's worth it to come here to say this. What Hashem did, an amazing thing. And Gurion and the non-religious people, there was a majority when the state of Israel started. And they grabbed it. Oh, yeah, the kingdom of the kingdom don't exist. The kingdom of the land. But what Hashem did, unbelievable. They have a because if they stay where they are and they just stay what they're about, they just 400,000 or 500,000 Jews. When the state of Israel established, there were 600,000 Jews here, from 15 years old and up. You didn't count from 18 from 50 because one thing. 600,000, that was the number. About 150,000 of them were religious people. And more, about 2 million Jews or 500,000 Jews, at least the same amount, were in North Africa and Arab countries were religious Jews, traditional Jews. The Arabs are millions. They just wipe us out. They must have the entire Jewish people on the boat. They cannot have the religious people out on the boat because that would be the main cause, the power to build a land in Israel. What they did, they made a compromise. What they did, they made all the Sunnis outside state. Kashrus, when you can't, according to the law of Israel, the state of Israel, you cannot have a store, you're not allowed to have a store, which is not kosher. That's to be kosher, by the state of Israel. Shabbat, you're not allowed to play anything which is to do with the public, with governmental, the czar, governmental. Government has to be a religious government, which means you cannot have buses, which is paid by the government, subsidized. Any government organization cannot run on Shabbos. There's no Knesset members on Shabbos. The army cannot run on Shabbos unless it's because of them, not on Shabbos. By the law by the state of Israel, marriage and divorce and burial by the state of Israel must be. So what happened? It's what happened. They remove the ingredients from the cake. They made a cake, but they removed the ingredients. What happened? The Arab made a country. But the country did. The governmental power did not remove the power of Hashem. Why? Because they don't want Hashem. So, like I said, we have a shoe thing up there, the governmental power of our city, there's no Sugia. What if they made? What if they made? The government, all the government with the street going, as the power of the rules of the but all of them are religious. I'm not sure of that. So what we did, they thought this was the conclusion is being called. In those days, there was 500 yeshiva boys. They have to go into the army. He said 500 yeshiva boys will be this, will be God. In a few years, be nothing of it. What happened? And has his master plan. And what happened? They're just Jews had to come over and then we told me, and I'll be back. The government said, let's serve them. They give money to yeshivas. Look at what money they get. Or for taxes. So we have to learn to say that because we have Torah, we have Yeshiva, 90% of the people do Yeshiva, so Hashem tricked. He tricked the Satan. So what do we got here? That's another cake we have. We have the cake that all the air gone, all the air we're going to air out. But the still going, the control. What they did in the last 75 years, every 4, 5, 6 years, the government changed. They always try to cut and break the compromise they made. So we're crazy. We create a dance against ourselves. We create a country against what we believe individually. But we have to compromise, we lose. So what's that? Says nothing, they go try this. Okay, let's say they can't have it done. We try to cut. And what was the last fight? The last fight was that the government, as personal numbers, became the coalition became religious people and traditional people. Until after 75 years, the Arab, which the individual that controlled the government, which always tried to knock out with this where they created a government of Jewish people. What happened to that? What happened to that? Well, they became a minority. So they became a crazy. They made out come up, very crazy, and people thought in Tel Aviv. So you still got Tel Aviv. That was worse. The people went to what they do more than me. And they went crazy. Because they realized they lost the vote. They voted, they compromised, but they left of it. They compromised, and they didn't get half the vote. But they compromised, staying in the vote, staying there. Joachim That's what happened. So now, this is the conclusion of this message. What is our prayer? We pray that the government be destroyed now. The state of Israel, the shilton of Israel, as a shilton of compromise with the Torah, doesn't remove the shilton of it. This is the fourth opinion. The fourth opinion, it's position like this. We don't have like the Satmar shilton of that destroys, and we have to pray to be destroyed as a nice soul. We don't have the this opinion that is an Arab. And we have to be with closed eyes what we do we pray till the Mashiach will come. No. We not part of the government when the government individuals, majority of the individuals are also government, but the halal share of the government, it doesn't remove the Shulchan Aruch because they have to compromise with the Shulchan Aruch. We just have to pray that slowly so we bring a lot of babies. And more Jews have to come to this on, and we come to majority so the person now that's holding the compromise control will not break the chunk of it, it will be done enough. And that's what's happening now. So if I ask you, in this world, what happened? You know what happened in this world? Something never happened. I remember about 2-3 years ago, at 5, 6 years, we had a war in Gaza, and we had a guy called him Dieter, he was a cousin of the town. And before he entered the Gaza, he started to speak about Hashem. We're going to fight our enemies. And he read what it says in the paper going on. They want to expel him from the army. But now, he got such a punch, there's no government. Everywhere in the army, they said about Hashem. So everything happened. So what do we need to say? This is why I go back to the Midrash I said 2 weeks. The Midrash says we're talking about the Esrog represents people toiling mitzvah, blah blah blah. And the Avanochal, that always if you have no the mitzvahs. We have to have Aguda. If we have one Aguda, all Makers go. Kids are making one bundle. In you're not the ocean can able to happy money. We don't know what we're going to pray, they're going to be destroyed. They make their own dice, I give themselves. Like that's right. I think have to remove the people that control something which begins to always to shepherd and not out. The last 75 years, always fighting to break the dice. They can't, they get out of it. Now we look because outside, but now on the outside, because we're the majority in the government, we have to do, we have to pray. We have to make it part of our unity. Why? That's the better because then the happy like once we separate us and we can let go of them, we can't assume once. Now from the answer because this can't destroy them, part of the Jewish people. Have to pray to them, and Hashem brings another punch and another punch until they raise the white flags as God will do it. Some of them will not change because it's not to be Ehlah, but most of them are good Jews. We have to pray for them and bring them back to ourselves. Back to Hashem, that's what Hashem. She is here. I